Hi Tubies, here's Alexander again, and welcome to another painting tutorial. Today we will have a look at how to paint dark skin tone. So normally you paint skin in a relatively well, light fashion, I would say. Here with skin tones like Tolan Flesh or something like Rosy Flesh or well, you get the point. Well, but today I want to show you how to paint black people. So, sorry, that was my handy, or cell phone. I don't have any Katashan jungle fighters or any other human with mostly exposed body parts, so I will use for showcasing this how to paint the skin tone on a beastman. First things first. I will prime this miniature now in black and be right back. So Tubies, I'm back. The miniature is primed in black. This was just black spray primer, and before you ask, this is just an old paint pot with some sticky tack on top to hold the miniature. So, back to the skin tone. Well, in order to paint dark skin tone, dark colored people, you first have to decide what kind of dark skin you are painting. For example, in Warhammer 40k there is the Space Marine Legion or chapter of the Salamanders, and somebody in the EV Metal team took the lore behind the Salamanders, that they have black skin tone, literally, and painted them black, like chaos black. And that is, to me, totally bullshit, because there is no black skin. From the biologically standpoint, we humans have one pigment in our skin that is called melanin, and this is brown. So the more melanin there is in your skin or in your hair, the darker your skin will get, but you will never actually hit actual black, because it's brown, and brown can never be black. So, but there are several different skin tones, even in the dark skin tone range. So, for example, here we have 3 different skin tone variants. For example, here a very light brown skin tone, like in Barack Obama, and then we have here a middle tone, like here Joaquim Barbosa from I think he is in Brazil, one of the major court people. And then we have here some photo I've picked from Google. This is some basketball player, I believe. Don't well, you see the difference in the skin tones. They vary quite a lot. So in order to paint your miniature, you first have to decide what kind of dark skin tone you want to paint. Do you want to paint something like Barack Obama, light brown? Then I would, for example, start with a Calton brown and highlight this with XV88. If you want to have this middle tone, I would start, for example, with Rhinox Hide and go through Mornfang Brown, for example. But if you want to have it real dark, then I would actually start with Chaos Black, mixed in a tiny little bit of Rhinox Hide as a base skin tone. And then we highlight, if you actually look at the highlights, they're not, well, brown in the real dark skin tone, they are grayish. So I would mix a real dark brown, and then I would maybe start using Baneblade Brown or Deneb Stone or something like that to highlight those real shiny areas. So for this Beastman here, I will start priming him, I believe, in Rhinox Hide, and we go for a middle brownish tone. So just simply put some of that on your palette, put in a little drop of water to make it run smoother, and then you simply cover the whole skin in this color tone. As simple as that. See? Just like that. I will finish that up real quick and be right back. So everybody, as you can see, the first coat of Rhinox Hide is applied, and we will now continue. So here's now the point where we have to decide how to highlight him. As I mentioned before, I want to make this a middle tone brown. So I will start with Rhinox Hide, and I will highlight with Mornfang Brown a little bit. So we take our Rhinox Hide first on the palette, and then we will add some Mornfang Brown. So as you can see, I will put the color a little bit aside, and then I will gradually apply the color. Also, I will add a little bit of water to make the flow better. I will adjust the amount of paint on the paper towel, and then I will start to highlight. I will now use the undercoat of Rhinox Hide as the shadow, and this first mixture as the base color. Always keep in mind that the colors dry out a different tone than when they are wet, so over time you will know the difference between wet and dry color, and so you can adjust highlights accordingly. As you can see, I'm picking out the top parts and leave the recesses in the darker tone. Here in the face I will gently go over the details, just like dry brushing with a little bit less color on the brush. So little tip is always before you start hitting the face section of a miniature, start applying color on different areas of the model until you feel that there's the absolute right amount of color on your brush without damaging too much detail, and then you can start hitting the face. Like for example, there's still a little bit too much on the brush, so I will work and work and work until I can go back to the face, and I think right now is the perfect timing, and so I can go back in and highlight even a little bit more. So we are soon done with this coat. So when you're painting a dark skin tone, you can very quickly go overboard with it and well, make it too bright, and well, that's definitely not what we want to have. So be careful and mindful about that. So the last parts here at the leg, and I guess, yeah, that's about it for this color. So there you go. Now I will apply even more of the Mournfang brown. And as previously, dip of water, adjusting the amount. Yeah, that's about right. And now I'm starting with even higher parts, leaving a little bit of the old color behind. And as you may notice, I'm only painting with the tip of the brush here for much better control. So, and for those of you that have problems with stabilizing miniatures and shaky hands, you see how my hands are placed. My holding hand is firmly placed on the ground, and with my little finger here, I'm stabilizing my brush holding hand on the base of the miniature itself, or in this case, the miniature holder. And also my hand itself is resting on the ground, so I'm very, very less likely to shake with my hand, and so I have very good brush control. Other people are floating the hands in the air and trying then and this is totally shaky and not good for painting purposes. So keep that in mind when you're painting, to adjust your hand holding accordingly to have a good brush control. So obviously this step of the painting progress is way faster than the one before, because we are painting less and less surface area, and most of the time one simple stroke on an area is enough to finish the job in the specific area. So I guess that's about right. So, and now we will go for the final highlight, and for that I will use a little bit of XV88. Put that carefully in, and yeah, that's about the right color. Like before, adjusting the amount, getting rid of cat hair on the brush. And then I will pick out the highest spots, like here, for example, the nose, the eyebrows, here the lips, the cheekbones, then here a little line, so those are the lightest areas where the light shines on the skin. And if you feel that you still have too much color on the brush, feel free to simply readjust the amount on a paper towel until you're satisfied. So we are almost done. So, dum-de-dum. A little bit here. And a little bit there. And ta-da! This looks about right. So, this is a nice middle brown tone. Obviously, if you want to go with a brighter brown tone, then obviously you start with a brighter brown. Instead of Rhinox Hide, you start with Mournfang brown, and then you will highlight periodically with XV88. And as a last highlight, I would suggest mix a little bit of Talon Flesh into the mixture. And if you want to go with a real dark version, you start with Rhinox Hide, mixture in a little bit of black. Then you highlight with Mornfang Brown a little bit, just a little bit, and in the end you highlight with Deneb Stone. So you get this grayish shine, you know? So, and that's it for this tutorial for the skin tone. The rest of the miniature is self-explanatory. For example, here the fur is simply a little bit of dry brush work, metal painted silver, go over it with a little bit of wash and then highlight it accordingly. The horns you start with, for example, this here, and highlight with Screaming Skull. Same for the hoofs, and then you're basically done with this miniature. So, I hope you liked this tutorial about painting dark skin tone, and well, we see us in the next video. You're Alexandra.